Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour. Now, here's John Truman Wolfe.
Hello, everybody. This is John Truman Wolfe. Welcome to the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour. I usually have the opportunity to start and say it's a beautiful day here in the mountains north of Los Angeles, but it is looks like it's about to break into snow. We've had snow up here for several days, and it's supposed to snow 11 inches today. So that'll be interesting. Hope things are nice where you are, wherever you are. Let's start the show today with the nation's financial statistics, which we do every week. The Dow 603, it was down several hundred yesterday, up 300 today. Again, my view of the Dow is that it's going to continue going up. I don't see a economic case for that, a financial case for that. But I look at it from a technical basis, meaning I look at the graph, and it looks to me like the Dow Jones Industrial Average, that graph looks to me like it's going to continue up. I repeat, I don't see an economic reason for it, but I think that's going to happen. The S&P was up 37. The NASDAQ, let's see, they were backing up to the S&P 3787, up 37. The NASDAQ 13,337, up 66. Moving over to precious metals, gold was about flat, 1845. It's very interesting if you look at the gold graph, which breaks out. It was trading around 1835, maybe 1840, somewhere right in there. And then it shoots up when the market opened, and it goes up about $20. And you can see people, in my mind, I can see people charging at that uptick in the price of gold going, okay, good, now it's going to break and head back up into the 1900s, maybe 2000, because it has been just playing there in the 1850 to 1950 range for the last, several weeks. And this, just to remind you, is intended to discourage investors from holding gold. You hold it at 1845, etc. It shoots up today. The gold bugs are like, okay, good, finally, it's going to happen. And it goes up about $20 and then crashes right back down to where it was. Trust me, that's a manipulated activity. It's designed to get people excited to jump in and then disappoint them. The purpose being for the manipulators to hold on to their stock while others are selling, and then they buy those that are selling. And so it's a controlled scenario. They want the weak sisters out, and they buy all of this in the framework, as I have said before, of, in my opinion, a long-term precious metals boom. All right, folks, we'll come back. This is John Truman. We'll come back and talk about silver and then get into the cryptos, which have had a very interesting 24 hours. I am John Truman Wolfe. This is the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour, and we'll be right back.
When you invest, what do you need? Investors need foresight and prediction so they can invest with confidence. Is the stock market going up and down? What about precious metals or Bitcoin? The stock market may be treading water right now, but now may be a more opportune time to invest in precious metals. Are gold and silver booming? What do you buy? Bullion? Mining stocks? Which ones? The cryptocurrency market is also advancing strongly, but which ones do you buy? John Truman Wolfe, former banker and #1 best-selling author, gives you the answers in his widely read newsletter, Strategic Financial Intelligence, available at strategicfinancialintelligence.com. Wolfe called the breakout of the gold market and the breakout of the silver market. He may not have a crystal ball, but his investment picks tell a story. Metals and digital currencies are on the move. Don't miss out. Go to strategicfinancialintelligence.com and get the Strategic Financial Intelligence newsletter today. strategicfinancialintelligence.com.
All right, folks, we're back. I'm John Truman Wolfe. This is the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour. I was talking about the manipulation of the price of gold in the last 24 hours. Just to repeat, it went from around $1,840 an ounce up to $1,860. Appeared to be a breakout to get out of this dull trading range it's been in. And it went up $20, stayed there for a few minutes, and then crashed right back down to where it was. I repeat, just to repeat the message, that's a controlled effort by manipulators to get people out so that those that are holding for the long term can buy. And that's a design strategy, believe it or not. Okay, silver had a very strong day. It's interesting. Gold virtually flat. Silver up $1.23 an ounce to 26.52 is a very strong move for silver, and much stronger than gold. I mean, gold flat, silver's up $1.23. Big deal for the white metal. Over to the cryptos, boy, we've had a very, very interesting 24 hours. Bitcoin and all the progeny, all the other altcoins, and an altcoin, just by way of definition, is virtually any coin other than Bitcoin. Alt stands for alternative. So it's any coin other than, essentially any coin other than Bitcoin. But Bitcoin and all the, I'd say all, but virtually all of the other altcoins had a very rough 24 hours. They were down. Bitcoin, I think, went down as far as into the 29,000s. Now, if you have been following that, as I have, and if you haven't, I will tell you, in the last week or so, it got up to maybe, 7-8 days ago, it got up to pushing 42,000 Bitcoin. I mean, 42,000. And it looked like it was going to take a run at 50,000. And then it started, backpedaling, going down. It spent, several days in the low 30s, 32, 33, 34, kind of up and down, up and down. And then starting about 24 hours ago, it started falling, and the other cryptos were falling with it. It was a strong sell-off in the cryptocurrency world, and today it's recovered. Hallelujah. Bitcoin right now, as we speak, or the last time I looked at it, 33,652. For the last 24 hours, it's up 9.54%. So we'll see now if it's going to retrace the steps and head up, or just hang out here in the low 30s. There are plenty of people writing about the cryptocurrency market, Bitcoin in particular, and that's because more and more large hedge funds insurance companies, major players in the stock market have been putting big dollars into Bitcoin. Massachusetts, I think it's Massachusetts General, I think is the name of the insurance company, Mass Mutual, I think. Excuse me. Don't hold me to that name. It may be, yeah, Mass Mutual put in $100 million into Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's gone mainstream. And whether or not now it's going to head up to the moon, I don't know. There are people talking about 50,000. 50,000 at this point is not out of range at all. Excuse me. At 33, when it was at 42,000. So 50,000. I mean, this would have been unheard of some months ago. But 50,000 is definitely in the sights of Bitcoin. Again, trading at today, 33,652, up 9.5%. And I say today, if you don't know, the cryptocurrency markets trade, they never stop because people all over the world invest in cryptocurrencies. And so when traditional stock markets are shut off here or closed here, they're still going. Bitcoin's still being bought and sold, as are the other altcoins. Speaking of which, so Ethereum, which went down, how far down did it get? 1,200, got down to about 1,200, is, last time I looked, 1337, up almost 7% in the last 24 hours. People are talking about $5,000 Ethereum. Again, this is one of those situations where you go, a few months ago, somebody would have laughed at that figure. Not anymore. Ethereum has had a strong run, while Bitcoin has been kind of flat. Of late, Ethereum now at 1337, it got up as high as 14. I think it was 1410, a little over $1,400 an ounce, a coin, and up 7%. XRP, a cryptocurrency that many of you follow, was up about 4.5% to 26.5 cents. For those of you that don't follow XRP, which is the third biggest by market cap crypto, they were up again to recite the kind of the track record of XRP, which is the trading symbol for a crypto called Ripple, and they provide some very cool technology to facilitate banks international transfer of money very quickly. In business, the crypto was trading in the 20s, 22, 23, 24, 25, 23, back and forth, I don't know, a couple of years. And about a month ago, give or take, it spiked up to 60. I read one report said 70 cents. I didn't see it go that high, but I saw it go into the 60s, 60 cents. So it went from basically 25 cents to at least 60 some odd cents. This is a spike that made a lot of people happy, probably made a lot of people rich. Then XRP Ripple crashed. And when we come back, we'll talk about what caused the crash and where it's going to go from here. I'm John Truman Wolfe. This is the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour. We'll be back and talk about Ripple and other cryptos right after these messages.
Hill Street Cafe, Burbank, would like to thank all of you for your continued support. During these difficult times, Hill Street Cafe is remaining open for takeout and delivery service from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. They'll be offering a modified menu to keep prices down and maintain the best quality. The safety of their customers and employees is their top priority, and they're abiding by all CDC and Health Department regulations. Order via the Hill Street Cafe Chow Now app or on their website, hillstreetcafeonline.com. You have the option of curbside pickup. We will bring the food out to your car. You are also able to order for delivery or pickup via the normal food delivery apps like Grubhub, Postmates, Uber Eats, and DoorDash. Hill Street Cafe is here to serve you. Call them at 818-845-0046 or come by to pick up at 3301 North Glen Oaks Boulevard in Burbank, California. Hill Street Cafe, Burbank. Pickup and delivery services are available at 818-845-0046 or visit them at hillstreetcafeonline.com.
The smartest way for you to get the lowest prices on your plane tickets, domestic or international, is to call SmartFares. First or last, but you've got to call us before you book your plane tickets. Fly anywhere in the world, fly anywhere in the U.S., and SmartFares can save you up to 75% on your plane tickets. We have the lowest airline ticket prices on over 500 airlines, and you've got a great 12-hour free cancellation window. Plus, with our live agent help, you can always get fast help and fast answers. So on your next trip, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, how about right now? Pick up your phone and call SmartFares, plus save up to 75% on your plane reservation. So call right now. 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644.
The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. You've got to remember to do your testing, and you always need to be sticking your fingers. The new way to live your life with diabetes is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discreet, easy-to-use sensor on your body, and it continuously monitors your glucose levels, helping you spend more time in range and freeing you from painful finger pricks. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 times per day, or use an insulin pump and have private insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM with little or no cost to you. Call U.S. Medical Supply today for a free benefits check. We offer free shipping, 90-day supplies, and we bill Medicare or your insurance directly. Call now and say goodbye to finger pricks.
800-633-1378. 800-633-1378. 800-633-1378. That's 800-633-1378.
All right, folks, we're back. I'm John Truman Wolfe. This is the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour, coming to you from the now snow-covered mountains north of Los Angeles in the Los Padres National Forest. And we were talking about Ripple, or the trading symbol XRP, a crypto that was flat, then spiked a month and a half ago, went up 2.5 times, almost 3 times, 300%. And then it held there for, I don't know, a week, give or take. And then the head of Ripple came out with a press release saying we're informed. They got ahead of this incident, the incident being the SEC's threat to sue them. So the CEO, which I think was a good PR move, issued a press release and said, hey, we understand the SEC is going to sue us. We think it's, BS. Here's why. And then, listed out why that was a faulty move by the SEC. I don't think the press release was designed to change the SEC's mind, but when you have the company coming out going, okay, good, this is going to happen, then investors don't freak. At any rate, that came out. The crypto fell, and then some of the bigger exchanges, including Coinbase and others, I don't recall them all, but I got emails that various of them had delisted Ripple, meaning they weren't trading it. If you had Ripple on their platform, that's fine. You could still take it out at whatever price it was at, but it had fallen back down to, as different exchanges came out saying they were going to delist it. It continued to fall in value, but it fell to about where it had been. And today, last I looked, it was at 26.5 cents, and it was up, let me see, I think 4 or 5%, if memory serves me. It was up 4.66%, which, so they're not running for the hills. They are still operating handsomely. They have 210 international banks for whom they provide this technology that facilitates international transfers of money, and they're still doing well. Not all the exchanges have delisted them. There are foreign exchanges that kind of look down their nose at the SEC's actions. Ripple has been operating the same way for, I think, 8 years. And now all of a sudden the SEC is going, oh, you're a security. And, filed all kinds of, I didn't read the entire lawsuit, but so we'll see what happens to this. I didn't sell I had Ripple. I have Ripple. And I could have bailed reading the news, and my thinking was, look, this is a good company. Whatever happens in this lawsuit, I think these guys will come out the other side looking good. And I think the price will continue to rise after the lawsuit, regardless of what happens, pretty much regardless of what happens. So that's the cryptos moving up again today from a very down prior 24 hours. If you're in the cryptocurrency markets, you're happy because they're doing very, very. So there you go on the day's financial statistics. One story you can't get away from, even the mainstream media, everybody was talking about GameStop, this stock that was apparently not doing all that well. And then a bunch of funds shorted it. They short sold it. And we'll talk about short selling and why that gets done and its use in markets, because it's a concept most people don't understand. And it gets used to manipulate stocks in a very, you could call it, clever way. All right, we'll come back and talk about GameStop and what happened to it yesterday. I'm John Truman Wolfe. This is the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour, and we'll be right back.
Does your current bathroom need to be updated immediately? Introducing One Day Bath and Shower Remodeling, the complete and hassle-free way to get the new bathroom of your dreams in as little as 1 day and for as little as $199 a month. Yes, the experts at One Day Bath and Shower Remodeling will come to you anywhere in the country and show you all the customized options. Now you can have a brand new bathroom in as little as 1 day. Large or small bathrooms, if you want a new bathtub or shower installed, we can do it in as little as 1 day. And if you call right now, you can can save $750 off your remodel. We make it easy by offering you financing as low as $199 per month. Call now to schedule your free in-home consultation.
855-525-7454. 855-525-7454. That's 855-525-7454.
When you really want Italian food, you have got to get to Columbo's. Columbo's Italian Steakhouse and Jazz Club, Colorado Boulevard, Eagle Rock. It's that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. Well, buckaroos and buckarees, Columbo's has seen to it that you can enjoy and luxuriate in all the splendor that is Columbo's and in the comfort of your own home. Yes, just call 323-254-9138 and say you are commissioning them to prepare the finest steaks, the freshest fish offerings, Columbo's family Italian specialties, including the world's greatest meatballs with the greatest of dispatch. Then motor on over to Columbo's for your gustatorial treasures. In these times of trials and turmoil, it's the least you can do to bring about some joy and yum-yum to your loved ones. Yes, Columbo's, of course. That little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. Columbo's.
Mangia bene.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Their expert staff can help you turn your book idea into a real book, a masterpiece that could someday make the bestseller list in hard copy and digitally all across the world. Page Publishing can help you completely take your idea for a book, write it, and publish it. So if you want to join the ranks of some of the most famous authors in the world, call now for a free information kit. Turn your book idea into publishing gold. Make a free call right now to Page Publishing.
800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. That's 800-378-3212.
When you invest, what do you need? Investors need foresight and prediction so they can invest with confidence. Is the stock market going up and down? What about precious metals or Bitcoin? The stock market may be treading water right now, but now may be a more opportune time to invest in precious metals. Are gold and silver booming? What do you buy? Bullion? Mining stocks? Which ones? The cryptocurrency market is also advancing strongly, but which ones do you buy? John Truman Wolfe, former banker and #1 best-selling author, gives you the answers in his widely read newsletter, Strategic Financial Intelligence, available at strategicfinancialintelligence.com. Wolfe called the breakout of the gold market and the breakout of the silver market. He may not have a crystal ball, but his investment picks tell a story. Metals and digital currencies are on the move. Don't miss out. Go to strategicfinancialintelligence.com and get the Strategic Financial Intelligence newsletter today. strategicfinancialintelligence.com.
All right, folks, we are back. I'm John Truman Wolfe. This is the second half of the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour. Before the break, was talking about GameStop. For those folks that don't know or understand what short selling is, let me give you an example. You think you have some inside intelligence that General Motors workers are going to go on strike. Now, obviously, I'm just making this up. I have no idea what General Motors workers are doing or not doing. But, and you think that the stock, the General Motors stock, is going to go down. Let's say it's trading at $50 a share. So you call your broker and you say, sell 100 shares of General Motors. Now, you don't have the 100 shares of General Motors that you've asked your broker to sell. And he goes and he borrows 100 shares of General Motors from somebody else, some other client, some pool, and he sells it. And $5,000 now goes into your account. Now, this is borrowed money, but for the time being, the $5,000 is in your account, and you owe the broker the 100 shares of General Motors. Okay, so let's say you're right, and there's a strike or something, and the price of General Motors stock goes from 50 to 40. So you call your broker back and you say, buy 100 shares of General Motors. And he does, and it costs you $4,000, right? Because it went from 50 to 40. So it costs you $4,000. You just made $1,000 profit. The broker takes the 100 shares that you now have, because you just bought it, and gives it back to whoever he took it from. Whoever you borrowed it from, because it's an actual borrowing process there, and you just made $1,000. That's short selling. Now, there are those that use short selling in a process whereby they can dump huge amounts. They can short sell in huge amounts and drive the price of a stock down just because there's more supply than there is demand. So that's what was going on with this company, GameStop, who makes some kind of, I didn't even look, they make some kind of video game programming, I believe, which is not the important part of the story. But there is a bunch of, if memory serves me right, and I'm reading the story, I should have it here in front of me. I don't. But there was some major fund that was short selling this stock, and so now they've short sold it. They haven't bought it back yet, right? And a group of, if I remember the story correctly, a group of investors, smaller investors, I think on Reddit, I believe, somehow got together. I'm not sure how this happened, and they started while this fund was short selling it. These guys went in and started buying big time, large numbers. And so instead of the stock went down apparently for a little bit, and then this team of investors got together and they started buying in huge quantities, driving the price of the stock up. So up and up and up. So now these guys that short sold, they have to buy the stock to cover it because they owe whoever they borrowed the stock from, they owe. And so they start buying to cover their short losses. See, obviously, if you, in my example, if you sold General Motors back to the 100 shares of General Motors, and you sold the 100 shares of General Motors, $5,000 goes into your account, but the price of the stock goes up. So the price of the stock goes up to 60, and now you call your broker and you go, okay, buy it. I've got to return the shares, and you have to do what? You have to pay $6,000, which means you just lost a G. Okay, so in this case, we're talking about, I don't know what the numbers are. I'm presuming millions of shares, large numbers of shares. So these people are buying, driving the price up, which is forcing the people that short sold to buy to cover their short sells. So it's called a short squeeze. So the original group is buying, the short sellers are buying, and what's happening to the price of the stock? It goes up. I've looked at the graph. I mean, they've been showing this graph on, even the mainstream media has been covering this story, and the graph just goes parabolic. I mean, it goes straight up. And so the group that short sold, they got toasted. I mean, they got toasted big time. I don't know if they went out of business. I haven't followed the follow-up of the story, but they lost their fannies big time. So if you're going to short sell, you better know what you're doing. I had some friends back in the, I don't know, 80s, I think. And they were short sellers. That's what they did. They would identify, and they were doing it basically finding companies whose ethics were questionable, whose products were questionable, and they would engage in short selling the company, basically saying this company produces lousy products, or they're cheating their shareholders in this way, or whatever the negative news was. And by short selling, the price would go down. They would buy back, and they made themselves a very, very handsome living doing that. So that's short selling, and that's what happened to GameStop. All right, we're going to take a break here. I'm John Truman Wolfe. This is the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour, and we'll be right back. Stay with us.
Now it's time for MedVed's Entertainment Minute.
Anne Hathaway and Chiwetel Ejiofor of 12 Years a Slave play a couple whose romantic life is devastated by all the restrictions of the pandemic. So naturally, they decide to liven things up with a big jewel heist in Locked Down, now streaming on HBO Max.
You're talking about stealing a diamond, £3 million.
Someone's going to have to pack the valuables up.
No, I can't be trusted.
Well, don't trust the advertising for this movie, which emphasizes the thievery that comes only at the very end after a long, dreary slog through painful episodes of a relationship on the rocks. There's some big stars who make brief appearances, but it feels like two movies at once that aren't really connected. In this high-profile effort by Bourne Identity director Doug Liman to provide a cinematic treatment of the COVID-19 crisis. Rated R for language and some drug references, 2 stars for Locked Down.
This feature brought to you by the Thank Heaven Foundation.
Attention real estate investors. Do you need cash immediately? If you own one or multiple rental properties, you can use your equity to get cash out fast. The best part is we don't need tax returns or even a good credit score. At America's Loan Source, we are not a bank and we don't have bank rules. We make the decisions to loan you money, and there's no limit how much we can give you. Some clients have gotten as much as $500,000 or more within days. Use the money any way you want. If you own one rental property or 100 and COVID has left you in a cash crunch, we can help you turn your equity into fast cash. Call now for details and close in as little as 10 days and get the cash you need. 800-353-1760. 800-353-1760. 800-353-1760. That's 800-353-1760.
Okay, folks, we're back. John Truman Wolfe here with the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour. And we just kind of went through a little explanation of what's happened with this stock, GameStop. Some people made a lot of money. Some people got toted. But that's a little lesson in short selling. If you're, it's a legitimate strategy. If you're, see a company, this is what these friends of mine would do. They would, assess companies, find ones that were performing unethically, perhaps misrepresenting things, on their financial statements or whatever, and they would short sell them. And they made a very, very handsome living doing that. I don't know what will happen on this GameStop thing. I think the company that did all the short selling took on the short side. That they may have gone out of business. I think they got at any rate, whether they did or not, they got their fannies handed to them. I wanted to deviate here towards the end of the show and talk a little bit about our very good friend Vladimir Putin. This guy has become a real thug. Um, you know, he's not a stupid guy. He's been one of the more adroit politicians on the world stage for decades now, keeping himself in office. Even when it violated the Russian Constitution, he basically took an ally. After Putin's terms ran out, I think they have a two-term limit there, if memory serves me right, and he took Medvedev, pushed him to the presidency for a term, and then came back after that and has rerun, and then a change in the Russian Constitution made it such that he can stay in office as long as he cares to. I don't know when that's going to be. The guy is reputed to be one of the richest men in the world. I don't have access to his bank account, so I don't know if that's true. I would be very surprised if it weren't, because his cronies are, old former KGB guys. But at any rate, I stumble here because on the one hand, he's not stupid, and he did things for Russia that were smart and good. On the other hand, he's turned into a thug. I mean, a real thug. You can't say something against Vladimir Putin without, winding up in an alley with a bullet in your head. Or in the case of the recent news release, his major critic is a guy named Navalny. And they tried to, surely Putin denied any connection to it, but they, pumped this guy Navalny with some of these toxic chemicals, I believe radioactive chemicals, and the guy nearly died, but survived. He was in Germany in a hospital and managed to survive this injection, or whether he drank. I have to go back and see how the FSB people poisoned him. FSB is, for those of you that don't follow Russia, is the the subsequent inheritor of the KGB's mantle. And at any rate, this guy Navalny, to his credit, I mean, he's got guts. This guy just won't back off, pointing out the truth of the criminal acts of the Putin administration. At any rate, after he got out of the hospital in Germany from being recovering from the poisoning, they picked him up. They threw him in prison, where he resides as we speak. They just threw him in prison a few days ago, and this is Putin for you. From a guy who was doing some good things, steering Russia out of economic collapse, and providing some good tax policies in that country. This kind of thuggery just paints him for what he is, which is a thug. He's got this, this dictatorial streak in him. A few years back, I'm going back, I don't know, 5-10 years, there was a punk, a woman, female, a Russian punk rock group called Pussy Riot, believe it or not. So the girls in Pussy Riot go into a cathedral in Moscow, and they perform some kind of bizarre song. You could see it online, and which is critical of the church and is critical of Putin. And these girls now get charged with crimes against the state. Now, it's just a song by a bunch of, basically teenage girls or early 20s girls, and they get thrown in prison. All right, we'll come back. I'll finish the story about Pussy Riot when we come back. I'm John Truman Wolfe. This is the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour. Stay with us, folks.
Let's talk about your credit cards. When you first start using them, it's a slow drip. You make charges, then more charges, then bills come, and they keep coming. When you open your statements, the floodgates come pouring in. You realize you have more credit card debt than you can afford, and you're barely making the minimum payments. Wouldn't it be nice to make one affordable payment and have all your credit card bills covered? Make this free call and learn our responsible way to get your credit card bills paid and under control.
Sponsored by Consumer Education Services, a nonprofit organization.
800-876-3643. 800-876-3643. 800-876-3643. That's 800-876-3643.
CESI is not a loan company. The establishment of a debt management plan may adversely affect your credit rating. Non-payment of debt may lead creditors to increase finance and other charges to undertake collection activity, including liquidation.
It's totally normal to be constipated with belly pain, straining, and bloating again and again.
No way. You could have a chronic condition called irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. Linzess, or linaclotide, is a prescription that treats IBS-C in adults. Linzess works differently than laxatives to help relieve belly pain and let you have more frequent and complete bowel movements. Individual results may vary. Do not give to children less than 6, and it should not be given to children 6 to less than 18. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor today. You may be able to save on Linzess and make fewer trips to the pharmacy. See if you're eligible to pay as little as $30 for 90 days. Visit linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS. Sponsored by AbbVie and Ironwood Pharmaceuticals.
Here's an important COVID-19 school system update for your local area. If you're concerned about your child's education, please pay close attention to this message. The current school systems were not set up for at-home learning. If you're worried that your child may not be getting the grades they need to get ahead, may be losing self-confidence, or you're worried about them getting into a good college because of their grades, help is available to you. Call Grade Potential Tutoring. They can help with in-home or online tutoring and help your child with any subject and every grade level, even for test prep. They're experts in the home tutoring and online tutoring field and confident they can help you and your child get better grades today. Call now for your free consultation. 800-489-6575. 800-489-6575. 800-489-6575. That's 800-489-6575.
All right, folks, we're back. I'm John Truman Wolfe. This is the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour. Talking in the break with our producer, Mike Gary, about Russia and Putin and so forth. I'm going to finish up talking about him just because the tagline on the newsletter that I publish is the crossroad, the strategic financial intelligence, folks. Strategicfinancialintelligence.com says it's the crossroad of investing, politics, and the economy. And there are issues. I've written issues on George Soros, on Bill Gates, on the subversive surveillance nature of Google, which is nothing but a front for U.S. intelligence. The stories there of representatives of the CIA, DARPA, which is the the government agency inside the Department of Defense that creates all these bizarre weapons. And I'm trying to think. I think it was the NSA. Anyway, the three government intelligence agencies would go to Stanford. This is when Sergey Brin and Larry Page were creating the Google algorithm, and they would get their report. They funded them. You know, not all of the initial funding, but a major part of the initial funding of Google came from government intelligence. Anyway, I have an article on that. And so, which is kind of background to why I would be talking about Vladimir Putin. You know, I was, after the fall of communism in '92, I went over there. I gave a talk to Russian entrepreneurs, and then went back several times. I spoke most recently at Solkovo, which is the Russian government's or business/government's effort to duplicate the Silicon Valley. You know, I followed some major names when I spoke. Arnold Schwarzenegger spoke there. Condoleezza Rice spoke there, and I spoke about their economy and so forth. And my best-selling book got published there in Russia by the university that teaches all of the up-and-coming government bureaucrats. At any rate, we were talking about Putin, and in my view, following his career, he's just become more and more of a dictatorial thug. Not that he's ever been necessarily Johnny Appleseed, but it's just gotten worse. And if you're foolish enough to criticize him, you know, publicly, you're toast. You know, I think there's probably a strategy where you can do that from London or New York or something, and at least avoid any direct, you know, poisoning. They're using these radioactive chemicals, and you know, people are dying. And the Chinese government does the same thing. We were talking about that on the break. To the Falun Gong, which is a religious sect in China, and they're head to head with the Chinese government, who does not like religions. All right. Anyway, those are the closing comments of this week's show. If you want to read about this kind of thing, subscribe to Strategic Financial Intelligence. It's a good read. strategicfinancialintelligence.com. You can read about Google being a front for U.S. intelligence. You can read about Bill Gates, George Soros, or you can get great stock and cryptocurrency recommendations in Strategic Financial Intelligence. That'll do it for this week, folks. See you next Thursday at the same time, same station. Have